right, and welcome to part 3, the final part to this Tycoon. We got the belt working, the stuff being increased, and we want to step on this and award it to the player. Sounds simple enough, but there are some difficulties to this. Don't worry, I'm about to give it to you. Very simple, very easy to understand. So you're going to be leaving here like a pro. But I do want to make sure you knew that this is not as easy as it sounds. You can assume, hey, check to see who touched this. If check into that player, find the leader stat, go to the coin, increase the number, boom, bam, and increase. You would think that's it, but that's actually not it. So let's get right into it. You are not really able to fire off a trigger right from here. We're going to be going into that give script. We're not really able to fire off that trigger and just kind of like target the player. The player is not really, this information for the player is not really in the workspace, so that's going to be a big issue. Anyways, let's set this up. Let's go ahead and create a variable here, say local, and this will be our trigger equal. All right, this is equal to what's going on here. What are we trying to do? We're trying to get this and basically detect when something touches this area. All right, so just like how we got the money to collect, just like this, see, same deal. We say script, right? Give script, parent, and what we want. Okay, so script dot parent, and then we want the trigger. Now we have the trigger. We can go ahead and easily connect a on touched event here. Super simple to do. We then say trigger dot touch, then open our double colon, connect, put our function here, open the close parenthesis, and then right here, we then press enter. And we're in it. Understand now at this point, if you print something, if we print something here, that something will be printed every time something touches this yellow part. Let's test it out. Boom, we get something. Okay, it printed it indeed. All right. Next, you want to make sure that it is the player that is touching it, because anything can touch it, a monster, an NPC. There's many different things that could trigger off your trigger. You want to make sure it's the player. So what I'm going to do with this is we can send a variable like hit that will then represent the player. Check this out. If I print hit now, I'm going to get the player. So basically in here you can put a variable, anything you want. I call mine hit. That's going to represent what is firing off this touch event. I'm going to get maybe a left leg or right leg or foot and stuff like that. See? Because that's the part of what is triggering it. So from that, from this foot or whatever is hitting it, I can get the parent, which is then me or any other player. Sometimes even NPC and animals and whatever else you have in your game, right? So now I'm getting my name, me, the player. We want to make sure that this is not like an NPC, animals, or whatever else you might have in your game. You want to make sure it's a player, humanoid, yada yada yada. So let's put a couple checks and balances here, and we'll go for it. Underscore player is what I'll call it. Equals, and basically it's gonna be the same thing, but I'm gonna go to this this command here that says we can get player from character, just like so. Game dot players double colon get player from character. And if we simply put the hit dot parent in here, then I've stored that player into this variable. If I print underscore player, I would still get that same everything that I just got right here, Unreal Engine. Okay, I'll keep getting that. So now that I have that variable, let's do another check. So now we're going to say if underscore player is not new. We want to make sure that this player is indeed this variable is indeed a player. So if it's not new, then we'll proceed. That's just one of the many checks. Another check is we're going to check if the hit parent, right, that we hit dot actually we're going to say find first child and check to see if it is a humanoid. Then we'll proceed. There's one other check, so we want to check to make sure it has a humanoid as its first child. If it does, most player, that is the standard like layout of the player's body when he's in the scene. I'll show that to you in a minute. If now hit dot parent again, then we go into the humanoid because we have made sure that he did have a humanoid. So say humanoid. Now we've gone into the humanoid because we make sure he had one. We're going to check the health. If it's more than 0, then then he's alive and kicking. He's alive and well. Now that he's alive and well, we're going to go ahead and print give player money. Alright. This is the entire checks here. What's wrong? Oh, forgot to put the nil, right? If it is not nil, then, right, we did find a player. If the player has a humanoid, all right, if that humanoid health is more than 0, then we give the player the money. We also want to check to see if the player is actually the owner. We're going to be doing that later. Ownership is super important, and I'm going to show you and tell you why. Before I touch it, let's go in here. You see the player actually has a character in here. He's in the workspace. In this workspace is not where he has he doesn't have like his money in here. That is in players. So in here we can find that he does have a humanoid, and right, a part of the humanoid inside the like attributes for humanoid, you find one that's called health. As long as that health is more than 100, it's good. So give player money. So he's good. He passed the test. He's indeed a player, not some weird alien. So we can target that player all day, but when it comes to like making changes into a whole different hierarchy, a whole different folder over here, it gets a little difficult. You can imagine trying to basically do something like, well, if underscore player is a player, then we should be able to go into his what's it called, leader stats, and get to the coins and just increase them to something. I'm sure you've already tried something like that. Even I think even ChatGPT might even tell you that to do that, and then you would still find it does not work. And if you've ever had that issue, you're struggling with it, then welcome to the answer. Glad you made it. Before we get into what is super essential, which is ownership, we have to do ownership. It's super important. Let's talk about remote event, which is the answer. In order for us to make something happen from within the workspace and then make changes to this folder where the player money is going to be, we need to create a remote event. I'm going to make the remote event manually, so I just go into workspace and I'll click the add button and type remote event right there, and I'm gonna give it the name coin increaser coin increaser or coin event. I'm just gonna call it I'm just gonna call it coin event. It's important to remember the name. I'm gonna just go ahead and copy it. Coin event is set. Now coin event right here, it's time for me to fire it off. instead of trying to give my player money the other way, that does not work. I'm not going to waste my time on that. Let's fire off coin event. So we must have a reference to coin event to tell it to just, hey, go ahead and do your thing, fire it off. So coin event is in the workspace, so I can easily say local, and I'll just call it coin event equal, and I'll say game dot workspace dot coin event. Right? This is my coin event. So simply to fire it off now, right here, where everything has been checked, the players passed all the checks, we put coin event, the double column, and then you simply say fire client, right here, fire client, and then we pass in player. So in this case, I'm gonna pass in PL underscore PL player, and I'll put a comma, and then I'm gonna put a number here. This number will represent the amount. The amount is obviously this. So what I want to do is quickly store that into a variable and send it right away, or just put money dot value. Right? That is the amount. Money dot value gives us that amount. When that happens, we want to zero that guy out immediately after that. So then we say money dot value equal, and then we just say 0. So we pick it up, it disappears just like that. Let's go ahead and run this. Right? Let's see if we've tapped into coin event. Don't expect this to change. Our coin will not go up yet, but expect this to go to 0 if everything works. Goes back to 0. So coin event picks it up. It's 10, 15, touched it, 0. Alright, so we're collecting our money. Let's have it now show up on our increase now on our little UI that is there. That part now is easy to do. If you recall, in the previous video, this is a script that we used to create the information for the money. So in here would be a great place to also just keep track of increasing or decreasing that money. Let's go ahead and drop a line down here, and we will say that local variable. This is our let's call it remote coin event, and then just target it real quick, just like before, game dot workshop dot coin event. Okay, we target it. Easy. Actually, let's not do it like that. Let's wait for it to happen. So we'll do wait for child. So game dot workspace wait for child. We want to make sure it exists before we try to grab it. And then in here you just spell it out, coin event with parentheses and quotations. Okay, so this would be the coin event that exists in here. This script controls creating of the currency and all that, so it's easy for this script to talk to these directly and make them change because this script created it, and this is a local script that happens in the starter player script. So this can easily make changes to the coins because it set the value to begin with, right? We told it to be 500, so changing that is no problem. All right, now we have the event linked. We can check when it fires. We are telling it to fire here, so in this script we can just check, hey, did it fire? And when it does, increase the coins. So we simply type remote event dot on client event, which means it fired. We will then connect a function to this, as you're familiar now with. We're always connecting function, and if we put open and close parenthesis, that means that whatever we send over, right, when we fired it, we send over player and we send over money. Whatever we send over will show up here, so we'll make sure that the right player gets the right amount of money each time. Go to the last ending one right here, and then just press enter, and we go down. In here, I'm going to write, amount. That's the amount that is sent. We did send two things. I know we did send two things, but for right now, I'm only using the one, because this will automatically, it should automatically kind of like find the right player. So here we say local. I'll call this, I want to say player money. Yeah, I'll say player money equal what? Where is the money located? Where's the money located? Right there in this folder we created, which we call leader stat. Since we have the variable here, we don't have to create it again. So we say in that folder, find, let's say find first child, and it's called coins. Okay, coins is in that folder. Basically, this folder is the folder that is called leader stats. That's just the name of it. Okay, we gave it a name, leader stat. So this is the same folder. We want to check now if player money exists. Then we go ahead with the further step where we say player money dot value, right, equals player money dot value. We want to keep that value plus that amount. So we're increasing it here, increasing that amount right there. Alrighty, we're almost at the end. We've set this up. The only last thing is ownership. Let's check if this event worked as it should, right? Connect to the workshop event. When it fires off, check our money, increase it by the amount that's being sent. Let's hit play. Alright. Am I gonna get the 20 bucks? Let's let it go up. And then when I step on it, I grabbed it from there. You see we're up to 530. Boom, grab it. We're up to 550. Grab it. I'm just gonna stand here and see. So I jump. Yep, 580, 90, and let's just do 600. There it is, working. Problem here is anybody can still take your money. Let's put another check to this because again, ownership is important. So if that's not important to you, at this point in the video, we have wrapped up this tutorial. We're at what, 18 minutes in. It's a great place to stop. Ownership will continue here in what I call the additional video on ownership. But right now we have a fully working game. We are able to produce money for our Tycoon, watch the amount goes up, and collect it for our in-game currency. Thanks for checking out this little series. We're going to continue later in making some more features for our Tycoon games. Next video coming out is on the ownership. I'll see you then.